Hey guys, Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Welcome back today. Today we are going to review this guy, this girl, and these two. These are the Schleich Raptors that they've released. One was a standalone figure, and that is this guy here. He is the standalone Utahraptor, and this was what I would imagine would be the female counterpart, and it's got two other raptors. This one, and this one came in a pack of 3 all together, and then again, like I said, this one here was a standalone, so you can buy that one individually. Now the funny thing about it was that this standalone figure of their Utahraptor looks pretty nice. I mean, I do commend Schleich on their paint jobs. They always do beautiful paint, in my opinion. But I actually like the female, which is, again, I'm just guessing is supposed to be a female, as this one is brighter colored. This one's very dull colored, so it makes sense that this would be the female and that one would be the male as far as coloration goes. But I actually like this one much more than I like this one. I think that the paint on this one looks really nice. I think it looks much better than the original one here that they released. This one here is supposed to be a nice little Microraptor, which I guess he is. He looks like one. Schleich kind of does a strange job with some of their figures sometimes, and here's proof positive of that. This one is supposed to be a Velociraptor, and it is crazy looking. Doesn't really look too much like a Velociraptor to me, but it's still a pretty nice looking figure. He looks very cool. They've done a good job with the paint, and a fantastic job as far as the detail that they put into their sculpts. But instead of just talking about it, let's get a closer look and I'll show you guys. Starting with the male Utahraptor, I'm sure you've already taken notice to the fact that the actual sculpt of this isn't that great as far as the look. I mean, I don't think that this is how Utahraptor actually looked. It's kind of a silly look to him, but it doesn't look bad as far as the detail they put into it. They have put some nice detail into this. Very nice sculpt work, very good scales all over the face there. The teeth, one thing that Schleich always does with their teeth for the most part, always like kind of just puts them all and mixes them all together. They don't really individually sculpt them too well, but they did get closer to doing that on this one. But again, it's just kind of all meshed together. Articulated jaw on this, but it doesn't open super wide. That's about as far as it goes. Nice blue coloring under the eye. Not a big fan of the orange eye. I think they probably could have did a better job of actually painting the eye, because it's just kind of sloppy in there, I guess you would say. But it doesn't look terrible. It does have a gloss on the eye, so that helps make it look a little better. Makes it look a little nicer. Nicely sculpted detail here on the neck. Beautiful feathers. The feathering does look very nice on this. I like the nice little dry brushing they've done with the red over top of the brown. And the feathers in the tail look awesome. They did a fantastic job sculpting the tail out. The arms you can move, so that's something cool for fans of raptors. Most of the figures that we get, you don't have the movable arms unless you get a reborn one. Feathers on the arms look very nice. They've sculpted those really well. I do like this dinosaur, regardless of its inaccuracies in the sculpt. It doesn't look like it probably should, but it does still look pretty cool. Different thing they've done here with the big claw is it's actually down, as most people, when they make these figures of raptors, love to put the toe with the big claw up in the air, so you're really showing it off. Schleich doesn't do that, or at least they haven't with this one. It's just kind of down with the rest of them, so that's at least pretty neat. An interesting little thing they've done there. Nicely done tail here. Very nice skin folds. Good detailing all over. And as I already mentioned, the tail looks beautiful. The feathers they've done were all sculpted really well. So yeah, it looks nice on both sides. I always commend Schleich their paint jobs, I think, are always really nice. They do a very good job of subtle changes in color, as you can see in the body. They really do a good job of that. You don't even take notice to it half the time, but they, as you can see, it's like a darker brown, almost black here, goes to a lighter brown, and then it gets to an even darker brown that extends up onto the face into this light khaki-ish color, tan color on the face. So they do a very good job of the different variations of color that they put into them. Just not such a great job on the actual look of their dinosaur, as it does look childish to me. But I mean, I guess Schleich's more into making toys as opposed to scientifically accurate models. But you can still consider them models because they're not bad at all, in my opinion. We'll take a look at the female. As I said earlier, the female, in my opinion, looks nicer than the male. I really like the paint on this one better. I think the eye looks better, not an orange eye. The green eye looks more realistic to me. I think the paint was put on this one better. Obviously, as far as detail goes, this is the exact same sculpt as the other one. I'll set it next to it. As you can see, exactly the same. No differences whatsoever, so I don't really need to go over the detail of it. It's just really the paint job with this one, I think, looks so much better than the male version. Again, when I was talking about the subtle changes in color variation, a nice lighter arm, but then you still get the nice coloring here of the feathers, changing to this tan orangish type color that they've got going on here. Same deal with the toes, back down on the ground. I like the coloration. It really, really looks nice to me. And I love that they've given you a female counterpart to the male, so you can have both. I think that that is absolutely awesome, and I can definitely commend Schleich for that, because I don't ever recall anybody actually doing that with the mainstream companies until Schleich has done it with these two, and I think it's very, very cool. The Microraptor, if I can get him, he's attached, there we go, if I can get him off. The Microraptor is pretty basic, but he's pretty nice. Nice green paint scheme he's got going on here. He's got a orangish eye as well, but it looks a little better on this guy, I think, than the other one. Again, not the most accurate figure, but for what he is, he's pretty fun. Green and blue, changes in shades all over. They have put some very nice detail into this. The feathers look sculpted really, really well, so they haven't skimped out whatsoever in the actual detail department. Little feathers on the back of the head here, so he's not bad at all. He looks pretty decent, but again, he could be more accurate to the way it actually looked. You can actually see that the big toe is sticking out more on this one. And the final one is the Velociraptor, and as I said, he's pretty ridiculous looking. Doesn't really look like a Velociraptor at all to me, but that's not to say that they haven't done an absolutely incredible job sculpting the detail on this. The feathers all over look so cool to me. I think he looks very, very neat. They've done so much work in the sculpt of this, and for it to not even be a main figure release, it's impressive the amount of detail that they did put into this. I love that the mouth is obviously not an articulated jaw, but I love that you can see the teeth sticking out there from the mouth. They put a nice blue color on the lower jaw, which you don't see too often, that they would colorize the lower jaw. It's usually more in the upper part of the head. Some nice red here around the eye, and some red on the feathers. Beautifully sculpted arm. Toe is also down on this one so that it's not really showing off the big toe too much, but on this side it is a little bit. Toe's definitely up a little higher than on the other side. Again, not the most accurate sculpt, but as far as the job they did on it, I think they did a fantastic job with this sculpt and the detail they put into it so much. So not the best raptor in the world, but a very, very nicely done sculpt. Beautiful job done by Schleich on these figures. Aside from their obvious inaccuracies, they don't look the way they should, but they don't look bad at all. They have definitely done a lot of good work as far as sculpting these guys out. And the good cool part of this is for these three here, it's only, I think, like $16 if you buy them on the Toy King website. So it's a good price to get 3 Raptors, and nicely done Raptors as well. For the sizes, the Microraptor, he's very small. He's about 3.5 inches, a little under 2 inches tall. The Velociraptor, if that's what you want to call it, is almost 6 inches long and about 3.5 inches tall. And I only have to measure one of these guys because, as I said, they're the exact same sculpt. So starting at the tail, you're looking at around 8 inches. And then height-wise, under 4, maybe around 3.5 inches tall. So they're nice sized figures. They're not super small, but they're not super big. These two are fairly small. And especially the Microraptor, he's very small. But yeah, Schleich's done a pretty good job here in their nice little Raptor family. A good deal to buy 3 Raptors for one low price, and then you can also buy the male variant separately. It is a standalone figure, but if I were to recommend you buying either of these, I would recommend buying this one because I really like the paint job on the female better than I do on the male, and you get 2 extra Raptors, even though they don't look that great as far as their accuracy, especially that Velociraptor. He's just crazy looking, but good detail put into all of them. They did do a very nice job on the sculpts of these. So yeah, we'll link you guys as to where you can buy them, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.